Hello. Do you love finding out about Christmas traditions around the world? I do. This story comes from Russia. It's called Baboushka, and in Russian that means grandmother. It's been retold here by Robert Scott. 3 men travelled together through a strange land. For days they'd moved steadily towards a distant star. But now snow fell wetly from a dark grey sky. They would rest if they could find shelter rather than lose their way completely. It was Baboushka's house they came to. She welcomed them in, built up the fire to dry their clothes, heated some soup to ease their hunger, shook out the mattresses for them to rest on. Had they come a long way? Oh, they must be very tired. Where were they going? It must be very important to bring them such a distance at this time of year. A star, said Baboushka. You mean all you're doing is chasing after a star? In this weather? What on earth for? Patiently, they explained. They weren't trying to reach a star, but this particular star was guiding them. They didn't know where they were going, but they would know when they arrived. There would be a baby. But there are babies in the village, said Baboushka. Stars too, for that matter, when the skies are clear. No, she hadn't noticed a particularly bright star in the east. They explained about the baby. He would be a prince, but one whose kingdom was the whole world. A saviour who would free people from their sins, who would bring peace. They were sure he was coming. They had gifts for him, gifts fit for such a prince. Why don't you come with us? They asked. Me? Said Baboushka. Yes, you'll want to see him, won't you? He'll be your king as well as ours. But I don't have anything to take. The only thing you need is to bring yourself. But, said Baboushka, but you can't travel now it's snowing and you've lost your way. The snow is passing. We shall push on as soon as we can see the star. Perhaps tomorrow, said Baboushka. The snow cleared and the travellers were ready to leave well before dawn. You should come with us, they said. I can't leave just like that, said Baboushka. There's too much to do. I'll catch you up. When the men had gone, Baboushka cleaned her pans and dishes. She raked out the fire and put away the mattresses. She fed and watered the animals. Then she tidied and dusted, swept and polished, picked up and put away until she was hungry. Frankincense, she muttered as she broke herself some bread. Myrrh? Gold? I don't care if he is going to be a king. What use are such things to a child? So she searched through her cupboard and boxes until she found an old rattle and a coloured ball. She sorted out some material and made a rag doll. She took out a carved wooden donkey she'd loved ever since she'd been a child herself. That's more like it, she said, packing them into the sack. Then she baked some bread, cut some dried meat, brought in a pitcher of water. She washed and dusted and tied it up. She took her goat to one neighbour to look after and her birds to another. By the time she had finished, she was cold and hungry and tired, and it was snowing. Tomorrow, she said. She started up the fire again and made herself some soup. When Baboushka started out the next day, there was no star to guide her, and no tracks in the fresh snow. Oh dear, she said. I should have gone when they asked me, but I couldn't. I couldn't just go and leave everything. She asked everyone she met, called at all the houses she came to. 3 men? No, sorry, you're the first person we've seen in days. A star? Well, there are lots of stars. No, nothing unusual about them. A baby prince, you say? No, I'm afraid you've got the wrong place. No, no, no. But I couldn't just get up and leave, said Baboushka. I just couldn't. So Baboushka went from place to place looking for the newborn baby. And every year, when the time of the 3 strangers comes round, still she stops at the houses where there are children and leaves each of them a gift. If I can't give anything to the right baby, she says, at least I can make some other children happy. But of course, each present she leaves is a gift to the baby she looks for, as well as the child who receives it. The end. Happy Christmas.